Good morning, guys. This is Kimmy Yanks, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, the time right now is about 7 in the morning, and I'm about to head out to the racetrack for the Saturday activities of the 2025 Belgian Grand Prix weekend. Well, this being a sprint weekend, we have the sprint race in the morning today, followed by the qualifying, which will decide the grid for the Grand Prix on Sunday. Yeah, it's been a very tiring Friday. Got back late to the hotel, and then I woke up at about 6 in the morning just to get ready to head out to the track. The Paddock Club really opens early here, so I think it's open somewhere around 8:15. So yeah, want to be there first thing in the morning and try and cover as much as I can to show you guys more from all that is at the circuit, the Spa-Francorchamps, from behind the scenes. So yeah, really excited about all that lies ahead. Have about a 50-minute ride from Aachen to Spa-Francorchamps. Hopefully, we should not be running into too much traffic like we did yesterday. Should be a fun day. Really looking forward to all that's going to unfold in the Saturday here at the 2025 Belgian Grand Prix. Good morning from the Paddock Club parking, and we have basically bypassed everything, all the security checkpoints with ease, relative ease, and we've come into the track a lot quicker than we expected it. So yeah, this is the Paddock Club parking, and we'll get onto the Paddock Club shuttle, and from there push on ahead to the Paddock Club entry. We have come down to the Paddock Club area, and as you guys can see, the Formula 3 cars, spare parts, tires are all prepped and ready for the upcoming session. They are race 1, the first order of the day on a Saturday morning. The Formula 3 race 1 is about to start, so we have all the guys lined up with the equipment, waiting to get onto the pit lane and then onto the track. And yeah, the paddock is still shut. The Paddock Club is still shut. We need to wait until the doors open. The Paddock Club is not yet opened, and I think this is the opportune time for me to walk down to the fan village and show you guys how the fan village looks and if there are any changes that have been done compared to what we've seen last year. So yeah, we still have about 30-35 minutes, so I can do a quick jaunt there, pick up a couple of things for friends, and at the same time show you guys how beautiful this fan zone is. But yeah, so basically we're walking through the back of the Formula 1 paddock here. You can see a couple of the global partners, and there used to be another access, but that was only for vehicular movement from here, but still there is one. So but on a Sunday evening when everything shut down, the security actually allows you to walk through those barriers. So yeah, now we are walking through the support race paddock. So that is the pit lane on the left for the support race paddock, and you'll see the support race garages on the left hand side. We still have. So this is the Champions Club tower. You can actually see the welcome station put up there, and then this is the entire support race paddock. And now I'll actually be walking through this route here, go under, turn around, and basically come out into the fan village. So we walk through here. So now we are walking through the tunnel. It's pretty cold, and
Da fahren die Formel 2, Formel 3 und auch der Porsche Supercup. Das sind die Namen.
You could hear the gentleman talking of that we are coming out in the support race paddock, And this is the support race paddock for the Formula 2, the Formula 3, the Porsche Cup Series. And then we will walk over to the paddock. So this is also the parking for the Formula 1 media personnel as well as for the team personnel. So that's why you will actually see a lot of the team personnel walking through this tunnel right into the paddock. Hello. And yeah, we come out somewhere here, and now we'll now be walking over to the fan village. So we walk through this tunnel. Now we go straight there. We've gone through the tunnel, under the track, to the other side, and now we end up on what is the run-up to Eau Rouge and Radion, which you will see shortly in this video. And yeah, you can see the Champions Club Tower and the rest of the things all right there. The Paddock Club, and yeah, the paddock is not visible, but the Paddock Club is visible. So I don't know if you guys realize, but I took shots from above there yesterday. Welcome to the fan zone, and this is one of the most beautiful and the most electric fan zones that I've come across. My personal favorite. Yes, it is a journey to come here, but it's absolutely worth it. Not just because of the views that you can enjoy, but also because of all the shopping options and the food options that normal fans would have here. So of course you have got the food stations well laid out, and then you have a fan zone grandstand right behind. So yeah, the fans can get a clear view. Of course, these are uncovered grandstands, so it's quite a challenge to brave the weather here in Belgium, the inclement weather. And then on the left hand side, we've got, in the center area, we've got the F1 stores and some other stores on the far end there as well. So yeah, that is the Ferris wheel, the most famous Ferris wheel. And this side we have the F1 pit stop challenges happening, the more F1 stores, more simulators, then team specific stores as well. You got Mercedes here, and then of course the big Ferris wheel. So guys, this was the fan village. I'm actually going to be heading back now. There's nothing really of note that I want to buy, so yeah, might as well head back and get into the Paddock Club now and get ready for the events of the day. What a glorious Saturday morning this is at the 2025 Belgian Grand Prix, and we actually have the Formula 3 sprint race in progress while I shoot this, and slowly but surely we have the guests trickling in for what is going to be an action-packed Saturday for all of us, beginning with the sprint race, of course, followed by the qualifying for Formula 1. For those of you wondering what is there in the goodie bags, well, we've got a cap by Alpine and a Lock-It-On weekend recovery kit. So yeah, quite interesting goodie bag there, and yeah, more content coming away. We have a few driver appearances through the day, so I'll need to keep a track of that.
I love it. I love it here. I mean, I grew up a lot of my life here in Belgium because my mom is from here. So good, and it's one of the best tracks on the calendar. It's one of the ones I enjoy the most in every car possible, but especially in Formula 1. So yeah, happy.
Awesome. Weather has been so unpredictable so far. We might have some rain eating us across the next 2 days. How are you approaching these conditions, knowing that we are so limited on running time?
It's tough. I mean, today should be dry. Tomorrow will probably rain quite a bit. So for now, just make the most of the dry sessions and some sunshine. But tomorrow will be a challenge. I think with the dry conditions, it's always quite easy to get up to practice here because It's a difficult track, but it's not too complicated, whereas in the rain it becomes an even trickier circuit. So I think the challenge really will be tomorrow, but having a sprint race is always a challenge. Just FP1 qualifying, it always makes it a little bit more difficult for us as drivers, but also for the whole team. So, but that's part of it. It's part of the challenge, and it's always exciting.
So guys, we have a short lull in between. In fact, less than an hour before the start of the Formula 1 sprint, and I decided to take you guys for a quick walkthrough of the Paddock Club. And we're starting from the last turn practically, the bus stop chicane, which is right there, and we're starting from the viewing terrace, and we'll go to the other end of the Paddock Club right up until or close to La Source. So that is of course the bus stop chicane. If you see that route, you see those cars coming through, that is how the Paddock Club shuttle and the drivers come into the circuit. And so this is one end point of the Paddock Club, and this is of course the viewing terrace with Moët and Chandon, the company. And then we have the first hospitality area. This is actually a common area. Normally this hospitality area, the common hospitality area, is at the start of the Paddock Club, or that's how it used to be up until this year, and now they've kind of split this into two parts. So you have one section here. This is the engineering center, engineering hub, where basically we have drivers or mechanics from the yesteryears actually talking to people and explaining to them all that is happening in session using telemetry data that they have an access to. Here you've got race simulators, of course, something that I used to do quite a lot in the past, well past these experiences now. That is a taco station, and then so this is basically a common hospitality area. And on the other side we have an ice cream station and a drink station. So that's Laura Winter and Julian Palma. So that is the gelato station there. And moving further on, the next most probably I think is the Global Partner Lounge. Walking right through, and first up, actually we have the F1 experience. This is the Moët and Chandon. That's their own private suite for the champagne company. It's quite a humongous suite there. What has now happened is that the global partner lounges have become bigger than the team lounges, and the teams have now been shifted to the club suite. While I'm here, I just wanted to show you, these are all the food stations that we have. So while you're walking on the right hand side, you have the food stations, and on the left hand side you've got the hospitality areas or people who are sitting there while overlooking the paddock area, of course. This is where the F1 Experiences suite is. So you have F1 Experiences there, and this has now become one of the most popular things in Formula 1. The easiest way to get Paddock Club access, or even access to the paddock, if you actually book the Legends experience. This is my favorite section, of course. We've got Stroop waffles, we've got chocolates. Wow, look at these. I'm going to have a jolly old time during lunch. This is the Global Partner Suite, of course. So all the official sponsors and partners of Formula 1 are a part of this suite. And walking further on, we have that's the first club suite, and this is where we have Mercedes, followed by McLaren, and then Alpine. And while we are actually there, we always have the food stations on the other side. And then, of course, continuing further on, this was the first club suite. Now the second club suite has the next set of teams. All this while, when you're passing through this area, you of course have turnstiles that give you access to the F1 paddock downstairs. So here you've got Red Bull Racing, you've got other official ticket organizers for Formula 1. You've got Ferrari in the back there, you've got Aston Martin, and we have I think it's Williams, if I'm not mistaken, or probably one of the other teams. Yeah, this layout is pretty confusing, honestly speaking, but what has now happened is that for a team to have a suite of its own, they need to have a minimum of 100 guests, which has now gone up from 70 from last year. So getting 30 more guests does become a bigger challenge. Oh, Red Bull is here, I'm sorry. So that's Red Bull and Williams. So yeah, the club suite is now divided into sections where teams have their own set of private guests. And finally here, we are again into the common area. We have Yang picking up pizzas for himself. Champagnes, of course. So these are actually signed by the drivers. And they've also mentioned which year it was. So this is from 1991 all the way up to 1996. And yeah, Demel's famous dessert, something that people enjoy. We have music playing. Another bar on this side. And we have this try your luck jackpot game. So basically you try your luck and then yeah, you have some more spirits by Formula 1. The American Express Invitation Lounge, or they have got American Express goodies to give you, and we've got an artist at work. He basically beautifies standard Formula 1 caps with colors of his own. And then finally on this side, we have the F1 store with the t-shirts out on display and on sale. And then finally, this is the end of the Paddock Club. The stairs take you down and to the exit, which is there. So yeah, this was the tour of the Paddock Club. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Probably, I don't know if I did a good job or not, but I hope I've been able to cover the majority of the aspects here. I think this is a good spot from where I can talk about the paddock. Well, this is a 2-level paddock, and you have the engineering centers up here on level 0, which basically houses the engineers, the analysts, the technical side of the team, and the drivers also spend extensive periods over the race weekend briefing, debriefing, discussing strategies, discussing setups with the engineers on this level. You take the stairs, go one level below, and what you see on the far end there are the hospitality centers or the hospitality units, or what we call as the motorhomes in the Formula 1 paddock. Of course, these are all trucks which eventually get dismantled on a Sunday evening, and then they are sent across to the next racing destination, which would be Budapest a weekend later. Now, this is a very expansive paddock. Like I said yesterday, 2 levels, everything is well spread out, and there's no real space constraint as such for the Formula 1 paddock here in Spa. If you remember the paddock in Austria, it seems a lot more compact, but it's probably wider than what we see here at Spa, because you still have to house all these trucks. And but yeah, it's a single level, which kind of makes it easier to get hold of drivers for selfies and autographs on a race weekend. So yeah, that's the view of the paddock from the Paddock Club. So we are now building up to the start of the sprint race, and yeah, that's the view that we have currently. That is, of course, the control room from where the 5 red lights go out. So the race director would be having a close look at who is actually doing a jump start and who is not, or who is out of his grid slot. As you guys can see, the cars are now being readied on the grid. The drivers have already gone out for a sighting lap or two. A sighting lap is basically where the drivers drive out of the garages, do a lap around the circuit just to do a full systems check to ensure everything is in order. There are no anomalies seen on the telemetry, and once that is done, they make their way to the back of the grid, which is not visible from here unfortunately, but from there the mechanics wheel the car further in to the grid slot, because there's so much activity and so many personnel on track that they have to be wheeled to their grid slots. So yeah, this is how the scene is. I'm right at the start of the start of the race, and we actually have some tunes being played by the DJ on the grid. It's quite a privilege and a job to enjoy, because you're making music while watching these mechanics wheel these cars to the front of the grid. Of course, as the time draws closer, we will have all the non-essential personnel cleared from the grid. We have bad news. Seems like Gasly is back into the pit lane, and there seems to be a problem on his car. So it could either be a pit start for him, pit lane start for him, or he could not be starting at all. I mean, this has been the story of Alpine all throughout the season, so not really surprised. But yeah, this doesn't harbor well or augur well for the blue team. So the grid now is being cleared of all the non-essential personnel. Of course, the mechanics are also removing the more heavier equipment, and there you can see them walking away with the extra tires, the warmers, so on and so forth. And now we are counting down to the start of the Formula 1 sprint race. It still has about 3 minutes left on the clock before we actually go out for the formation lap. So this is going to be the most important time for the drivers. It's the final prep and countdown. So guys, this brings us to the end of the Formula 1 sprint race. What an amazing drive by Max Verstappen there. Unreal overtake on the opening lap. And then the way he managed the gap to Oscar and Lando, who was actually catching up on the duo. It's really commendable. But obviously the Red Bull has been set up for straight line speed, so that would have definitely helped his cause. It's going to be a very different situation when it comes to the race, because we will be having pit stops and strategies will play out in the way they always do. So it's going to be interesting to see how things unfold on the Sunday tomorrow. But yeah, a great race for Max nonetheless. A really important sprint result for Oscar as well. Basically damage limitation, trying to ensure that he outscores Lando Norris, who is his immediate competitor. Now we actually have the pit lane walk happening soon, or rather it's already underway, and we have the cars now being wheeled back from Parc Fermé to their respective garages. So this is going to be really interesting to see people trying to get close-up shots of these cars. Those are F1 classic cars going around the track. So this is a very bizarre time during a race weekend. Saturday afternoon, there's like a lull in between. You don't really know what you want to do, because we had the Formula 3 sprint race in the morning, followed by the Formula 1 sprint, and then of course there was the Formula 2 sprint, which I kind of missed because I was busy having lunch, and now there's this lull, like about an hour and a half, where you don't really know what to do. And yeah, I've just been busy doing some office work, uploading some content on Instagram, and at the same time yeah, just about charging everything up and ensuring all systems are good to go. Once qualifying begins in about 30 minutes from now, that's 4 p.m. local time. So that would be the final order of the day here at Formula 1. The Formula 1 qualifying, which will of course decide the grid for the Sunday Grand Prix. Now, yeah, if I were to talk about the weather, well, it's looking okay for now. It is a bit cloudy. The sun's definitely not out, so there could be the possibility of rain in the air, but it's too early to say. We don't have a breeze as such coming in, and that honestly doesn't really complicate matters. If it did, then yes, there would be a much bigger chance of rain happening during qualifying. But yeah, for now, just spending some time relaxing, fueling up with water, and yeah, it's almost time for the Formula 1 qualifying session to begin. We are like 12 and a half minutes away from the start of qualifying, and the stands are now slowly filling up with people. Everyone has taken their vantage points, and soon enough we will see the cars rolling out of the grid, out of their pit boxes, and going on to the track to set the fastest times of the race weekend, subject to rain staying away, because yeah, as of now the skies seem to be clear and things seem to be quite silent on the weather front. but yeah, the McLarens look strong. The Red Bulls with their straight line speed will definitely have an advantage here in Spa, because we've got really long tracks and you almost have a 7-kilometer long racetrack to play around with. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of excitement around, and let's see how things pan out from here on. So that is qualifying done and dusted, and an exceptional lap in his first run of Q3. That's what has given Lando Norris pole. The others huffed and puffed, came close, but they were still not close enough. George Russell had 2 purple sectors. He had a personal best middle sector, and yet all he could manage was P6. This is important for Lando, an important result to be on pole, because in his battle against his teammate Oscar Piastri, this is going to be a major mental boost for him going into Sunday. It's always better to start from pole. Oscar already is on the back foot because he was not able to defend against Max Verstappen in that F1 sprint, and that has obviously played on his mind, I'm guessing, and he will definitely be looking for that slipstream and try and make the best out of it on that Kemmel straight while he fights against Lando Norris. Charles Leclerc, what can I say? When the going gets tough, when it's like really taxing, he comes up and produces the goods. Once again, the Monegasque showcasing his talent, all his expertise coming to the fore as he finished P3 in qualifying. That's a great result for Ferrari. A bittersweet though, because Lewis is way down in P17 or P18 if I'm not mistaken, and he had his lap deleted due to track limits at turn 4, which is not really the ideal situation for Lewis, and he will once again be starting the race from the back end of the grid, which is not really the best, and it's going to be really difficult for him tomorrow to make up positions. So it's going to be very important for him to do things that are going to help him recover. And yeah, what can I say? A very close qualifying. Max Verstappen P4 kind of lost the back end on the exit of La Source, which is quite disappointing for him because his first run in Q3 was on used tires. So probably if they had put on a fresh set of softs, he could have set in a banker lap and that would have been good enough. But half a second down on his first run, and then about 3/10 down on his second, and that's not really the lap time that he was looking for. And I think his race tomorrow will be against Charles Leclerc more than the McLarens, because the McLaren seem to be the clear favourite. They are running away with this race again come Sunday. So this brings us to the end of all the action that's happening on track. This would be the final order of the day, and now we're going to have the second pit lane walk of Saturday, which will most probably be a very silent one. Not many people around, because we've already seen a few guests saying goodbyes to the hosts of the club suites with various teams, and yeah, it's going to be a very silent pit lane walk on the Saturday. So guys, it's 8:50 in the evening, and we are about to head out. Almost everyone's left, but yeah, while I'm walking out, might as well show you guys the media pen. And yeah, it's time to say goodbye from the paddock, walk back. We have a transfer at 9:30 in the evening, and then reach Aachen before we come back again tomorrow. Even though we have our pickup from the Paddock Club parking area, we're actually walking to a spot that is closer for our driver to pick us up from, and yeah, just taking in the sights and sounds from day 2, or rather the end of day 2 here at the Belgian Grand Prix. I've so gotten used to these visuals that even though there is nothing new to see, it still feels as fresh and as beautiful as it was the first time when I actually walked through these roads to wherever I needed to go to. So yeah, really thankful for these opportunities, really blessed to be here and see drivers up close, personal experiences that probably a select few get to see, and yeah, I'm really happy that I still have one more day of a quest to get as many signatures and autographs, and selfies. I've now returned to my hotel room here in Aachen, and the time right now is about 10:35 in the evening. Well, it's not been a day as long as it was on the Friday. We had a longer day yesterday, but yeah, it was an early morning start, just like how it used to be traditionally at any Formula One weekend. An early morning start on a Saturday, and yeah, thankfully the drivers went home earlier than we expected them to. Yeah, we still have about an hour before most of the restaurants shut, so we might go down and try and get ourselves a quick bite before coming back up and then getting ready for the final day, the Sunday, of course. Quite a productive day, if I can put it that way. Towards the end, was able to meet a whole lot of drivers, get autographs as well for a few people. I've been inundated with requests throughout the day, and yeah, I'm trying my best to fulfill all the backlog of requests. But yeah, you guys have to understand that it does get really tiring and tough sometimes. For people like Lewis, you have to specially wait for 2 to 3 hours until he actually comes out, and yeah, and of course today it's understandable that he had a very bad day in qualifying as well as the race, so as well as the sprint race, so it's understandable he was not really in the mood to talk to anyone. A great performance by Lando. It was great to meet his mum on the way out, and I had a really wholesome conversation with her. I was so happy to speak to her, and yeah, I just hope that yeah, he's able to convert that into a win tomorrow. Really happy with Charles Leclerc as well. Nice to see him smiling today. He was in a really good mood after he put such a stellar lap to get right up into the top three there. As always, I'll be leaving the links to my other social media handles in the description below. Apologies if I've made mistakes along the way. These 2 weekends that I've had, Austria and Belgium, I probably could have covered a little bit more because of the extra paddock access. I've been not been able to go into areas that I could have covered. I hope you guys have enjoyed all that's been shown to you thus far. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. I will be back again in a few hours to take you with me on this journey to circuit the Spa-Francorchamps on the Sunday of the 2025 Belgian Grand Prix. Until then, guys, stay safe, take care, and thank you all for the support. I really appreciate it. I hope my content does justice to the amazing experience and all that circuit the Spa-Francorchamps has to offer. Take care, guys. This is Kimi Yang signing off. Ciao.